What is the most challenging part about being Katie Hoss and growing a business as a female?
The most challenging part of being Katie Hoss has been my imposter syndrome and overcoming
Yes, girl. Yes.
overcoming that.
And can you explain?
Sure. So I practiced yoga for quite a while before I even thought, hey, maybe I can teach this. And when I decided to become a teacher, again, nothing stood in my way. I was like, nope, I'm becoming a yoga teacher and I'm going to do this. I
Mhm.
didn't have a plan after that fact. I just knew I was going to become a yoga instructor. I've been practicing for about 7 years and I was like, all right, I want to teach. I'm a teacher. I want to teach yoga. So I went full force doing that. But after I received my certification, I completely stopped doing yoga. I don't know
Wow.
why. And this is actually a common thread that I see in a lot of yoga groups that I follow. Once you become a teacher, something, I don't know, something disconnects for a little while and it takes you a minute to get back in the groove of things. And that happened to me. And it really, I especially started thinking, I didn't learn enough. I didn't become a good enough instructor. I need to do more before I can teach other people and be perfect.
Mhm.
And that's that imposter syndrome where you are comparing yourself to everybody around you, all the perfect instructors who've taught you, and
Mhm.
you think you're never going to be as good as them.
Yep.
But my favorite question to ask people is, what is the difference between a master and a beginner? What do you think?
Time.
Time beautifully. Yeah, exactly. A master has failed more times than a beginner has tried.
Ooh, yes. Yes. Hallelujah. For sure. Yes.
So
Okay.
you so failure is essential.
I love
Everybody
that.
who's taught you anything in your life has failed, and
Oh,
it's
that brought
taken
a little
them.
tear to my eye, girl. That was so good. Wow.
Isn't that? And
Yeah.
remembering that and reminding yourself of that is crucial.
Yeah.
So that's how I
100%.
overcame my imposter syndrome. Was that mantra?
I love that. I love that. So what are some personal struggles that you've had to overcome in order to, pursue your passion? Is there anything
Yeah, I think this
personal?
probably ties into imposter syndrome, but I personally, I don't feel like I have that Instagram model physique. I'm a normal woman. I have a bit of a belly. I'm not perfect,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I think that's another one of those things I really had to overcome and find confidence in myself and find what makes me a good yoga teacher. And posting super flexible sexy pictures isn't one of them,
Yeah.
which is a very big misconception today among yoga in the world. Is people think yoga and then they think Instagram and then they think these gorgeous models.
Yeah.
So if you meet me and you see me on the street, you probably wouldn't think I'm a yoga teacher.
Yeah. What
So overcoming that was a challenge, and but again, just owning it and telling myself it doesn't matter. Some of the most influential instructors I've been with have not looked like, you know, Instagram yogis. So
Yeah, exactly. What is your take or what is your feeling on being more relatable, being being who you are? Because me myself, when I think about it, I would relate more to somebody like you than I would a traditional what comes to mind when I think of a yoga instructor. Do you feel like that's an advantage you have, or have you not found that to be an advantage yet?
it's definitely an angle I'm working because I saw you had on live earlier had my website up.
Mhm.
And my kind of theme on my website is yoga is for everybody. And, little play on words
Oh,
there.
yes. Yes, I love that, and
And
true.
it's really very true. And something I firmly believe in is so in yoga, the postures, right? All the poses we do, those are called asana. And that's the second part of yoga. The first part is pranayama, which is your breath, which is breathing. So you don't even need to be able to touch your toes. You don't even need to be able to do anything. But if you start to learn to breathe, you're doing yoga. So,
Gotcha.
and that's what I hope to relate to people. And I hope to kind of open that doorway.
I love that. What are some things that you have done differently now, or what are some things you would have done differently looking back now? Is there anything?
Yeah, I would have just gone for what I wanted. I said maybe I'll be a yoga instructor. I said that for a really long time, and I had the
Really?
yeah, I actually secretly began teaching yoga in Utah with my students. Before I actually became a certified instructor,
Got
I
it.
started practicing in Utah. Another part of me is I have a lot of anxiety, so yoga was a really beautiful solution. And my job was really intense. I worked with at-risk teenagers for 8 days straight. So when I got back home, back to the real world, I needed a way to decompress, and yoga I found was a really great way. So when I would go back to work, I would use yoga as an incentive to help my students settle in the evening. So if we got everything done for the day, we could do twilight yoga before we, went to sleep at night.
I love that.
Yeah, so I
Very
began
cool.
I began teaching them, and I loved it so much, but I had that imposter syndrome. I was like, I'm just having fun with my kids. I'm just teaching them what I've learned in my classes, but I can't touch my toes. I could not touch my toes when I started practicing yoga. So that alone made me believe I could never become a yoga teacher.
Got it. That totally makes sense.